Last time we were discussing the structure of the system. So this is the current status of power system in Oman, and we have seen some characteristics of the demand and also of the system. So can you tell me some characteristics of the demand of, let's say, of the system? Let's say relation to the load. Is it stable or is it increasing?
It's increasing.
It's increasing. We are developing country. We are not only developed countries. They have steady load. Developing countries, loads are increasing. So load is increasing. What about? So it's about 10%, close to 10% capacity is required. More capacity required per year. What type of load do we have? Most of our loads are what? Air conditioners. So residential loads, air conditioners. This is it is estimated that 80% of the peak demand in summer is just air conditioners. So this is also something that you should keep in mind. Another thing about the utilization of assets. Are we fully utilizing the existing assets because of this residential demand? We are actually underutilizing the assets. So we are having a lot of capacity, but that capacity is not utilized most of the time. So most of the time we have very low utilization. Okay. Now coming to the economics. What do you think, okay, this is an obvious question. What do you think our system is? Are we, you have Majan company, you have Mazun, you have Muscat, you have Royal Area company. These companies are collecting money. Okay, so they're collecting hundreds of millions of Omani riyals, right? Yeah. Are they collecting too much money, or is it reasonable, or is it actually low?
No.
It's low. Okay, maybe some of you knows that it's low.
According to the price you have mentioned before about the maintenance is 100 million riyal each year, I think.
That's the additional capacity that we need. So that just to cope with this demand, we need an investment of about 100 million Omani riyal each year, just to add generators, transmission lines, and So this is So maybe it's too little. They are collecting too little, so they are not covering actually the cost. And actually, it's there is a permitted tariff category. This is approved by the Council of Ministers, so nobody is allowed to change it except the Cabinet of Ministers, Majlis Wuzara. So we have different classification of tariffs. One is for the industrial, commercial, Minister of Defense, and so on. Residential, most of us are residential. Government, if there is a hospital, if there is a, let's say, a mosque, then they have also a special tariff. If it is a farm or if it is a hotel, it's a different tariff. And basically, if you just look at the industrial, it's a flat tariff. So 12 paisa per kilowatt hour for let's say for winter, and then for other summer it's double the price. Okay. For the far area, it's slightly different because of the season. Okay, just to reflect the season. So the price is doubled for the for industrial during summer, just to encourage them to decrease their consumption. Commercial is flat, 20 paisa per kilowatt hour.
This is like the Muscat just or
This is overall. So this is overall. So all companies are having the same. They are not authorized to collect more than this tariff. Okay.
I think it's 10 for other regions.
So this is 10 paisa. Okay. So this is this is just an example for the industrial. So for the residential, most of us are paying 10 paisa per kilowatt hour for the first 300 units of energy, 300 kilowatt hour. So for the first 3,000 kilowatt hour, we are paying 10 paisa. Basically, if your electricity bill is 30 riyals or less, you are only paying a price of 10 paisa. Okay. If your bill is more than that, then the first 30 riyals were calculated based on 10 paisa, and the other based on the different. So this is what we call the inverted block tariff. The inverted block tariff objective of this policy is to support low-income families or low-income consumers. Previously, many utilities around the world, they have an opposite tariff. So normally they will have low prices for people who consume a lot of energy, just to encourage them to consume energy. But this was shifted. Now all over the world they have this inverted tariff. Now most of the consumption is actually, there was a study published by the Authority of Electricity Regulation, about 80% of residential customers are actually in this category. And this is 2.59 cents per kilowatt hour. So it's about, say, 2.5 cents, just to remember the number. So it's 2.6 cents, 2.5 cents per kilowatt hour. About 80% of accounts after that are in this category, more or less. And this is actually below the coast. This is below the coast, so all of these are below the coast. And therefore, electricity is subsidized. So it is subsidized by the government. The difference between the cost and the income that these companies are collecting is covered by the government. And this slide shows you the situation. So the green part of this bar is subsidy, and the blue one is the income from customers. And you can see the numbers in millions. So these are in millions. Muscat, Marjan, Mazoon, this is for 2013. The MIS, the total of them, this is the total. So the total cost was 580 millions. This part is subsidy. This part is subsidy. Now, if you are looking at Beza per kilowatt hour, this is the cost in Muscat. So the cost of kilowatt hour is about 25 Beza per kilowatt hour. And remember that most of the people are paying 10 Beza. The cost in Marjan, effective cost, is about 34 Beza. In Mazoon, about 29 Beza, and so on. Okay. The average is 25.4. So this is the average, economic cost. So this is the economic cost, and you can see the so the percentage of subsidy is about 40%. So 40% of the cost is not recovered by these companies from customers. So it's a heavily subsidized system. So electricity is heavily subsidized. About 40% of the financial cost is subsidies. These subsidies were calculated based on neglecting, let's say, the opportunity cost of natural gas. Considering the opportunity cost of natural gas, this will be the economic subsidy. Okay. Considering $9 per million metric British thermal unit, subsidies will be about 700 million Omani riyals in 1 year. This is only in one. This is only in 1 year. So subsidies are increasing. Actually, it will be increasing more as the demand is growing. So this is one characteristic that you should know about the system. Expected subsidies in 2014. These are the numbers here. Expected subsidy is about 600 million Omani riyal. If the opportunity cost of natural gas is $6, now it is calculated based on $1.5 per MMBTU. Okay, but this price was changed, and this year it was changed to $3 per MMBTU. So the government decided to change the price of natural gas to all, let's say, industry, power sector, chemical, and so on. So now the price is 3 actually. So subsidies will be even more. If you look at rural area electricity company, you will see that the green part, which is the subsidy, is dominating actually this bar. You will see the total cost for different years. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but it's about 90 Beza. So the cost is about 90 Beza. The expected cost in 2014 was about 84 Beza per kilowatt hour. And remember that the selling price is 10 Beza in most of the cases. Okay. So about 64 Beza per kilowatt hour is the average subsidies per kilowatt hour for each customer. So it's heavily subsidized. About 3/4 actually of the cost is not recovered. And this is basically because a rural area company is using diesel, and they are just purchasing diesel from the local market with 140 paisa per liter. Although that price is lower than the international market price, but it is in terms of energy content, it's much more expensive than the natural gas price, and therefore this is higher. Now, if this is the case in rural area company, and remember that what was the system in rural area company? It's vertically integrated system. So it's the same entity that takes care of generation, transmission, distribution, and supply. It's the same entity. There is no need to go into the OPWP, the Oman Power and Water Procurement Company. So just deal with rural area company, and then that's it. And this is what's happening currently. Now the future. This is the summary of the demand. So it's high growth rate, more power plants are required, all power plants are using natural gas, this is central power plants. Natural gas resources are limited, and we have seen an evidence of that in the latest actually OPWP report that says that the planned power plant in Dokham is delayed because there is no natural gas for that plant. Most of electricity consumption is residential, not industrial, therefore it's actually fluctuating. If it is fluctuating, then actually we need to focus on the peak, and therefore we are oversizing the system, so the system is not fully utilized. Heavily subsidized system, subsidies are expected to increase as demand is growing. So these are some characteristics that we should keep in mind when we are thinking about the future. Sustainable. So the current system, electricity system is not sustainable. It's just subsidized, and it cannot stay forever like that. Somebody needs to be at one instant at a time. So what are the different options that we might think of? We might think some people are thinking of reducing subsidies, and maybe these days people are talking about reducing subsidies on fuel. On fuel. This is one thing that this is one option. There was some movement toward nuclear option. So Oman became a member of the International Atomic Energy Agency in 2009, and they conducted several workshops. And there is a unit actually in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is a unit for nuclear, this nuclear option. But to use nuclear in a peaceful, just for the energy. But in 2013, it was announced that this option is cancelled. It's not feasible for Oman due to the nature of the demand that we are having. It has a lot of cost. Capital expenditure is very high, and you have to have a lot of steps before importing that technology. One problem of nuclear option is that you are not allowed to create your fuel. Okay, so this is also one problem. This is actually the problem with Iran. You are not allowed to create, to enrich your own fuel. So you have to import fuel from specific countries, and that's dangerous. South Korea, until now, they are just buying nuclear fuel from outside. So this is, after many discussions, many workshops, this was crossed out. Efficiency programs, people are thinking to have efficiency programs to make sure that actually consumers are aware of the efficiency, they select the most efficient equipment and so on, but that is not really attractive if the energy cost is little. So if energy cost is little, I don't care. I don't want to invest more in capital, because efficiency is a capital investment. So you need to maybe buy more for an efficient air conditioners. You need to buy more for. You need to pay more for an efficient washing machine and so on. Renewable energy option. So is this could be one also option, and this is the topic of our talk. So what is happening? So this is it for the sector. Now I want to show you some. So renewable energy projects in Oman. So maybe this is an option for the system to be, let's say, less subsidized, if you like, especially in rural area company, because the cost in rural area company is about 90 paisa. That's the average. In some locations it's much more than that. In some locations like Halaniyat Islands and some remote areas it's even higher because of the transportation cost. So it's important to look at this option. So we'll go through examples of SQ studies and research, examples of projects that are in SQ. TRC this year there was a TRC initiative, the TRC Strategic Research Program, to boost research in this direction. Renewable energy produced in RICO, other renewable energy produced, renewable energy produced in oil industry, and renewable policies in Oman. So also we'll talk about a little bit about policies. So these are the topics. We already have seen the characteristics today, so I don't want to repeat this. The system is not sustainable. The current system is not sustainable. We have we have to explore many options. One of the options is renewable energy resources. In 2008, His Majesty mentioned that it is also necessary to look into ways of benefiting from alternative energy resources and to seek ways to achieve food security as much as possible. So there was a direction actually, an address to the government, to the Cabinet of Ministers actually to look for this option. This was in 2008, and there are a lot of research going on in terms of renewable energy. Applications are limited, but in terms of research, it's a long history. These are just examples. So if you look at this paper, this is just a paper from Renewable and Sustainable Energy Reviews. So people are already studied resources, so resources are well studied in terms of solar resources, wind resources, they are well studied and they are well classified. So this is just an example. Solar irradiation for, let's say, for summer, and solar irradiation for winter, for different regions. This is done. There was also a study about 25 locations. So basically, what we have done, we got some data from the satellite and some data from ground measurements, and there was some some artificial intelligence involved to produce some, let's say, credible data. And we took that credible data and we did some analysis to get some estimates of the actually the output at different locations. And this is just a result of one paper. It gives you the megawatt per year, renewable energy production megawatt per year, and that was for a 5 megawatt project. I remember it was 5 megawatt project. More important is look at the capacity factor. So the capacity factor is really high. Capacity factor is the average output of these systems. You can see that the highest would be in Marmul, Suhar, Fahul, and so on. So these are the highest locations. Okay. Lowest would be in Sur, Salala, Masira, and so on. So normally this area is not really attractive for investment because the efficiency will be lower compared to the sites in this location. These are 25 sites. So this is one study. We did also studies even about the effect of policies. So the effect of different policies. This is just one financial indicator, the internal rate of return on the investment. So there was suggesting to change some taxation policies actually to encourage investment, because one of the problems facing actually renewable energy investments is the high capital cost. So these are having very high capital investment, very high capital cost, but there is no running cost. Running cost is very, very little. Running cost is very just clean. There is no fuel involved. So therefore, taxation need to be. So there are different. I don't want to go into what are the types of taxation policies and so on, but these are 6 scenarios with different taxation policies, and there was a conclusion to implement what we call depreciation or capital credit. There was a study, so you see we have different studies, SQ and outside also SQ, related to the resources and the potential. So the potential is there, resources are there. This is one study that we did related to the solar water heaters. So we took the data of 2010, I think, yeah, I remember 2010. We took the data of the housing in Oman in 2010, and then we have some assumptions about the water heating capacity in each house and each apartment, and then did some calculation about the energy and also the cost. If these electric water heaters are to be replaced by solar water heating systems. And the conclusion was we can actually replace about 200 megawatt power plant. This is the size of what the GC power plant. And there will be a saving of about 100 million Omani riyals per year. In terms of wind resources, Many study has been done related to wind resources. You can see here the wind speed at different locations. You might see that, for example, in Fahud we have high wind speed, in Qarun Hiriti, in Thamrit we have high wind speed. So some kind of initial estimates on the resources are available. From academic research and also from research funded by other resources, by other agencies. This is one map. There was a PhD student with us in the ECE department, and he did an assessment actually of using the GIS because he was working in the meteorological department in the airport, so he has access actually to these data. And yeah, there was as you can see here, the red areas are very good wind, and then as you are going to the blue areas, you have little potential for the wind. Okay, basically, areas below Ras Al Had, so coastal areas below Ras Al Had are excellent wind sites. And there was some more analysis of that. Sultan Yahya, Dr. Sultan Yahya is the main author because he did the PhD in our department, considering different other parameters. So considering other parameters other than the wind speed, this is just the wind speed. Okay. So considering other parameters or other indices like the dust, the turbulences, so different factors. He created these maps, and then he said, okay, this is most suitable, this is moderate, marginally moderate for different hub heights. Different hub heights. A typical hub height today is 80. This is very typical, 80 meters in the towers, the tower height of the turbine. So at 80 meter tower height, this area is Qarun Hiriti is the best area. Okay. If you are increasing the hub height of the turbine, then you will be having more area, will be more suitable. And all of them are normally in this side, close to the far region. Okay, so this is resources. Studies about resources are there. There was several case studies. This is just one study that it was conducted in 2008. Actually, it was in 2009 about Duqm. This study was done during the period when there was some intention and thoughts of implementing actually coal power plants in Duqm. So there was a case study about that. And using wind data, we have seen that in Duqm actually wind is high during summertime because it is affected by the summer monsoon. And therefore, if we have there a power plant of wind and it is connected to the main system, then it can help. It can have what we call capacity credit. It's not only energy, but it will replace some of the conventional generation facilities. And capacity factors are high. This is the capacity factor. The average output of the wind turbine is actually high, especially in winter time. And there was some analysis about what would be the a good, let's say, cost of energy. So it's about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That would be excellent for the investor. So they will get enough. Okay. We consider different taxation policies also in this study. Now some examples of real implementation in SKU. So this is one project. It was connected in 2012. This is by a Korean company. This is the Solar Power Lab. It's between the College of just opposite to the College of Science and the College of Engineering shaded parking. So in that area we have close to this, we have another Japanese old modules from the 80s. But this is these are new ones, 6 modules from a Korean company, 1 kilowatt, to test the technology, and the output is excellent. So this is one thing. The output is actually published. I didn't have the paper. Actually, there was some paper about the output of this and the characteristics. It was not really affected by dust. So some BV systems, some BV modules are really sensitive to dust, sensitive to the temperature. These are called desert BV modules, and the Korean company, they've said, okay, I'll give you this for free just to test it on your environment. Okay. And they implemented another one also in Suhar. Okay. There was also the renewable, the Eco House of SQ, and I just added the websites. Some of you requested this. So there is a website for the Eco House competition. Okay, and if you click on this, you can see actually the data. Let me check if you have. We have this one. Okay. So it has a 20 kilowatt PV system. Okay, it's connected to the grid. It has a 20 kilowatt PV system connected to the grid, feeding energy to the grid. I was checking the system just before the prayer, and it already exported 7,000 kilowatt hour, the net. So it is exported more than what it is consuming actually. So this 20 is more than enough for the house. Though there is no residence here, there was an announcement of from the college and from the university. They are looking for families to sit for free in the house. Have you heard about that? Okay. They are looking for families to stay for 1 year in the house for free and use it so that they can have measurements. They can have, yes.
Why we don't use this system in the school or mosque? Because this is consume lots of energy.
Because these are still expensive. These are still expensive compared to the subsidized cost of energy. If energy is not subsidized, then it would be much more attractive. Okay. Just to have a feeling of how much subsidies do we have, sometimes I give examples of some other countries. Okay. So one of the most successful countries in terms of utilization of PV system is Germany, right? Okay. The cost there of energy is actually 28 cents, euro cents. So 28 euro cents, the cost is 28 euro cents. So this is about 30 something cents comparing to 2.5 cents that we are having. So this justifies actually the investment, because at this high cost, it's even cheaper to have photovoltaic systems. Okay. So basically the cost, just the cost. If the cost is in energy is higher, then people will look for alternatives, and this is a good alternative.
So Doctor, you say that we will never move to the renewable energy unless that the subsidized get less.
No, I'm not saying that. We have two options: either to increase subsidy, which is not actually a solution, or to have some other ways. Other ways, we need to learn from others. There are two schemes to promote renewable energy. Unfortunately, I did not have the policies in this class, but there are different schemes. One scheme is called net metering, where we are actually using it. We are using a similar scheme for this house, or feed-in tariff. Okay, so countries that have actually high capacity of renewable energy resources, they are using actually feed-in tariff. Feed-in tariff, you will have 2 meters in the house. Okay. This was the case in many countries. So this is your house. You have, let's say, a PV system in that house. So this PV system is going outside. It is connected also to your, let's say, distribution board. And it goes to the what we call it your loads. Okay. And here you will be exporting only the net. So this will be 1 meter. So if you have 1 meter, this is called net metering. So the company, the utility, will charge you for the net. If you produce more than what you consume, then they will give you money. Or they won't give you money, they will give you, let's say, a credit for the coming months. Okay? Suppose that you didn't consume this month, you actually produce much more than what you consumed. They will not, when issuing the bill, you will say, okay, you will have minus 30 riyals. Okay? And next month, if your bill is 50 riyals, then you will reduce this one, and then you will pay only 20 riyals. This is one scheme. This was used in UK. It was not very successful. It was used also in the United States of America. It was not very successful because it will be successful if the price actually of electricity is high. If the price of electricity is low, then why should I bother just investment? I mean, the cost here would be, let's say, 2.5 beza. per kilowatt hour. And when I do the life cycle analysis of this system, I'll see that it's maybe, let's say, 100 beza per kilowatt hour. Okay. So it doesn't make sense for me as an investor. It doesn't make sense. Somebody had to bear this cost. So either to give subsidies for the systems. This is one policy that some countries are doing. So give policies, give rebates. So sometimes that system will cost, say, 10,000 riyals. The government will pay 50%. This is one scheme that is applied. So 50% will be paid by the government, and the remaining will be paid by the investor or the consumer itself. Or some benefits in terms of taxation, and so on. So different types of benefits just to justify the cost. The other option is to have 2 meters. So 1 meter is connected to the PV system. Maybe the internet is not working here. Sorry?
It's connected to the system.
It seems that there is a problem. Yeah.
No internet access.
There is no internet access. Anyhow, you have the link. You can go and explore. You'll see actually we are measuring the actual output from the house. So the actual output after the meter, what will be the currently instantaneously, and what will be consumed by each air conditioner. So it's already measured and it's displayed. I thought the internet is here. Okay, so this is one project. There is another project on top of the engineering lab. Maybe some of you have seen that. We have actually, this is just the turbine. We have actually a 2 kilowatt photovoltaic system, 1.5 kilowatt wind turbine, small wind turbine, and you have batteries. Wind turbine in the roof, batteries are in the room for the air conditioner. So the air conditioner room, we have there the batteries. And then this PV system will have an inverter because this is DC voltage, right? The system is AC, so you need to have an inverter to convert that to be compatible with your system, and then it's connected to the grid. And you can measure the net output. And here it is also this turbine is also connected here, and then you have the meter. You have the meter to measure, and we have also local loads. We have local loads. There is some switches for local loads. Equipments are there. System is running, and we can also see the measurements online, but it's not really finalized because we ordered also some rank to put this in order. It's a small lab, power simulator lab. Maybe some of you knows the lab. These equipments are the power simulator lab. It was completed, connected in 2015 after. Speaking of the legality of connection the systems, from the experience, we faced some difficulties in getting the approval for the connection. There was some communications with from the TRC because this is a TRC funded project. There was some correspondences from TRC, Authority of Industry Regulation, SKU administration, companies. So many entities were involved in this communication, and the solution that we are having now is we have some kind of what we call it net metering. So we have 1 meter, and that meter can measure the bidirectional flow. Okay, so we have energy export and energy import, and now currently we have exported already 7,000 kilowatt hour. We cannot get money because to get money you have to go through OPWP. You see, so what we did is we have what we call a connection agreement, a supply agreement with MEDC. By that supply agreement, if we are exporting power, if we are consuming more than what we are exporting, then we will pay the bill. The house will pay the bill. If we are exporting more than what we consume, then we don't get money. Our neighbor will get money. So we need to specify an account that will have a reduction. Okay, so it's for the benefit of the neighbor currently. But this is not. For normal people, this is not practical. Okay, I just want to save my money, right? I don't want to pay for the bill of the neighbor. Normally. There is another project that is called the cogeneration plant. The cogeneration plant. This is under construction. Maybe you have seen the tender. There was some talks about the tender, how much it costs, and so on, a few months ago. But that tender, it was I think 250,000 Somali riyals. But that's for the buildings, but the equipment. plus some other things. So the location is here, the location is here. These are the parking lot, and it's okay. So it will generate power, and it will also generate cooling. It will have cooling system also. This is by Dr. Nasser Al-Azli. Some of you might know him from mechanical engineering. TRC Strategic Research Program. Because there is a lot of momentum for renewable energy currently, there was a proposal to have a strategic program just dedicated to research in renewable energy. And this was actually approved. It was approved this year. So this was approved. We were involved in the initial stages. And now they approved actually 4 themes. And these are the usage of renewable energy in cooling and air conditioners, because the air conditioners is actually one of the most important components of the load. And there is a theme of usage of renewable energy for water desalination. We use electric energy actually for water desalination, right? RO plants. So most of our plants are reverse osmosis, where we need electric energy for this process. Okay. And the third theme is energy efficiency. So this is part of the theme also. Energy efficiency is an important theme. So there is funds for this. Buildings are the major consumer of energy. So we are not having industry, we are having residential loads mostly. So building is the most important. So how about having insulation in the building, for example? How about reducing, how about implementing a policy of double glazing for the windows and so on? So there are different things that can be implemented in terms of energy efficiency. And lastly also, power generation and storage. So these are the 4 themes that were approved recently by the Research Council. Okay. Maybe this is not really relevant for, these are more relevant for researchers, of people who want to do research. Then there is funds actually, there is available funds for these themes, okay, if you want to do some research. Projects in RICO, there was a study in 2008 published by the Authority of Electricity and Water, the Authority of Electricity Regulation, and it was by a consultant. And the conclusion was actually renewable energy resources are sometimes less costly than the new diesel units. So the new diesel units, it was estimated to cost about 62 paisa per kilowatt hour, but some technologies like, for example, a wind farm in Juba area, it will cost about 34 paisa. So this was the beginning of the studies. And then the conclusion of this study, or the recommendation, was the immediate implementation of pilot projects. So this was the recommendation 2008. Now it took about 2 years to shortlist 6 projects. So after that study, it took 2 years to shortlist 6 projects. So actually, investors were requested to submit proposals, and these proposals were reviewed and shortlisted, and they shortlisted 6 proposals. 4 of them are photovoltaic systems, and the 2 of them are wind systems. And the first one to be, this was in 2010, and this year it was the first project that was implemented. So it took a while to implement these projects, but at least we are already there. This is from newspapers. So according to this, the agreement is to sell this power at 153 paisa per kilowatt hour, while the cost there is maybe 100 paisa. So it's even more expensive than diesel. But at least we are experimenting. At least RICO is experimenting the technology, and this has actually, for this specific purpose, since it's a pilot project, it's experimented different technologies. So they experimented polycrystalline and thin film. So two different technologies are to be experimented. And already the data are coming to Muscat. I don't have access yet to that data, but already there is a connection between Al-Mazyuna, this is in Dhofar Governorate, and Muscat. And this is the picture. It was actually connected in the 5th of May. So the plant was connected, was commissioned, was physically connected to the system, 6th of May. It is working with diesel, right? There is the diesel generators there, and this is connected to the diesel generator plant. And some students did actually a project in ECE department about this project 3 years ago. We did a FYB. The other project that you might hear of is the wind project, the large wind project. Have you heard about this? This was the large wind project in collaboration with Masdar company in Abu Dhabi. So it's a jointly project developed by RICO and Masdar company. Consists of 25 turbines. It estimates that they will cost this project will cost 125. Again, this is the estimates. Australian engineering consultancy has been awarded, so the tender for the consultancy has been awarded, and 11 of the 20 interested international companies were shortlisted. So 11 companies are shortlisted, and the contract will be awarded to one of these companies. It's not awarded yet, but it was supposed to be awarded it was supposed to be already awarded. Another project is wind project in Masira. So there was also an investor that was interested. So RICO is working on this project also, but this is almost done. So this is almost done and to be operational in 2017. And then wind in Masira, and then the second phase of this project, it is estimated that we can actually, in that area, we can have gigawatts of wind, not megawatts. So a lot of capacity, a lot of potential for wind in that area. And there is these projects are from a talk by the CEO of RICO. I met him in an event, and these are from him. So there is also a 2,000 kilowatt project. These are just plans. There is no real implementation of these projects, except this one they started doing it. But these are just plans. So the last PV project is in Rablet Khaila. It's the new border between Saudi Arabia and Oman. Okay. So this is 2,000 kilowatts. It's a relatively large project. Other renewable energy projects, yes. There was a proposal to have a large CSP plant, large actually solar power plant in Manah, Adam area. The plot is already fenced, and there is a meteorological station there to have data. It was in Public Authority of Tunisia Water, and then it went to OPWP. If you go to OPWP website, you will see that there is a tab for this project. So you can click on that. You can see a lot of information, even measurements about solar irradiation and so on, because there is a meteorological station there. They didn't get the green light yet to go ahead with the project, okay. And it's not actually finalized whether it will be a CSP plant or a photovoltaic system. Initially, people wanted to go for CSP plants because it's grid friendly. It is the power system operator likes that, but then there was some concerns about water requirements. How can you cool the system? So the system needs to be cooled. We don't have enough water to drink, so it's better maybe to look for other technologies. The option is to have water from Barka and have it there. There was an initiative from Majan. So Majan company, also the department was involved in this project. A group of students were involved in this project I think 4 years ago. Maybe you have seen this, right? But now you cannot see it. If you go there, you cannot see it. So this was the project. It was awarded to the same company that gave us the free photovoltaic system, right? So these are desert modules PV systems. You can see the capacity. It was commissioned on the 1st of May. There was a ceremony and so on. There is a plan also to have 5 kilowatt solar parking system there. The tender was awarded for the PV system, but it was not implemented because they thought it's expensive. They want to have another design for the support system. So the initial design was expensive, but this is just the plan. So this was implemented, and this was implemented. And now these are down. You cannot. Maybe you see just the frame. If you go there, you will see just the frame, because there was concerns about the windshield. What will happen if there is a high wind speed? I think the design was about 50 km per hour. I can't remember the design. So there was a requirement actually to reinforce this structure so that even if there is a cyclone coming, it will not be affected. And that's why they are down. I don't know whether they already awarded the tender to reinforce the structure. We have a project in Knowledge Oasis Muscat. This is actually a new technology. This is CBV, concentrated BV systems. So, and these systems need to be equipped with a tracking mechanism. So the tracking system, there is a tracking system here. So this system will face the sun and the sunrise, and then it will track the sun until until the sunset. Once the sunset, it will turn again toward the east, waiting for the sun. This is German technology, and the measurements are online. We have collaboration. SQ has collaboration with them, and we got access to the data also. So a lot of projects. This is demonstration. This is expensive, but efficiency of this one is much higher than the conventional, because here you have little BV systems and they say some glasses to focus the light. There is the Botanic Garden. Maybe you have heard about that. Botanic Garden, 6 kilowatts, 600 kilowatt Botanic Garden. Al Khawd here just next to SQ. Maybe if you use Google, you can see that. I've seen this in Google. If you just Google, use Google Earth, go to Al Khawd, and you will see this. This is the Botanic Garden. It's not Botanic Garden is not open to the public for the public yet, but we visited this last Ramadan. Me and a colleague of mine, we visited this location last Ramadan. It is for D1. It was expensive. Renewable energy for our industry. Maybe we discussed this one. CSP plant for enhanced oil recovery. So people are going to the renewable energy utilization actually. Say 7 megawatts. This was installed and implemented in 2013, and now people announced a larger project, so 1 gigawatt. So recently it was announced that a 1 gigawatt project will be implemented. The same location in Amal. Okay, if this is implemented, it will be the largest CSP plant in the world if it is implemented. So this is one. It's called the Mir'ah. Okay, so these are future projects. There was a project also announced during summer. Okay, it was commissioned during summer. This is in Fahud. So the contractor permanent residence, solar parking. This is actually the largest PV system. So it's the largest PV system. It's 1.2 megawatts. So 1,200 kilowatts installed capacity. It's the largest. It's about 4,000. It's a 4,000 crystallines modules. And because we have 80, this is 4,000 installed modules. So this is just one picture of that. It's the largest system in Oman. Policies. People are talking about policies. What are we doing about policies? There is a good news. In 2013, the Authority of Electricity Regulation changed some regulations for RICO. So now, if RICO wants, a company that uses diesel, if this company wants to have investment, expansion projects, they need to include renewable energy share. The share is not specified, but they need to include a share. A share of that should be, part of that should be renewable energy. Or otherwise, they should prove that it's not feasible. So it's the burden of proof is on RICO to prove that it's not feasible. So they should consider always renewable energy projects in these areas because of the high cost of electricity in these areas, about 90 paise per kilowatt hour. So this is very, very nice thing that was happening recently. Currently, we have actually 2 projects running simultaneously. We'll try to bring, I already spoke to people to come and give us a keynote speech on the 3rd of November, closing ceremony, about these. SQ is also involved in this. We attend meetings and so on. One project is about renewable energy strategy for the whole country. So what's the strategy? Because nowadays we don't have a target, right? We don't have a target, we don't have a strategy to reach that target. So Oman does not have a target for renewable energy. It's not known how much, what's the contribution of energy we are planning for. This is not known, this is not given. So one objective is to define that objective. So how much I want renewable energy to contribute in my supply mix. Now 100% of my supply is coming from one source, fossil fuels, and that is not healthy. That's not for security purposes. That's not good. Also for the long run. So this is an important strategy. And there is another study that is going on. It's Oman Wind Atlas. So these are all done by the Public Authority of Electricity and Water. Oman Wind Atlas, they already identify 15 locations. Maybe you have some news where some information were in the news lately, but it has 2 stages. This has 2 stages. Stage 1 is to identify 15 sites that has very good wind potential in Oman. Some of them are rural, like in rural areas. Some of them should be connected to the main system, and then that is done. And then to conduct a detailed study for 4 sites. So this is almost done, but to publish reports you need to have approvals and so on. The same thing with this study. It's already done. It needs just approvals from some entities, so that it's available for the public. So these are the things. Once these are done, then I think Oman will have the investment in renewable energy will be very, very fast. Because if you don't have a target, then there's no need for policies. If you have a clear target, where do you want to go after 5 years, after 10 years, after 20 years, then you will actually implement policies to reach to your target. So this is the idea, and this is hopefully it will be soon. It's be coming soon. Okay. So currently policies is not clear for investments. I personally got several questions from more than from Italy, from Germany, from Belgium. People wants to invest, and for them it's not clear. It's not clear what's the. But once these are ready, and maybe we can have clear guidelines about if I want, for example, to have a PV system in my house, what's the procedure? You need to have a specific procedure, right? From where can I get this, let's say, permit to connect my photovoltaic system? Maybe I just like to do experiments with my kids, just to put a PV system to show them that this is environmentally friendly and so on. What's the procedure? So at least we need to have these small things. Some of the neighboring countries are already announcing the standard procedure. Maybe you have heard about that, right? So there is a standard procedure now. It's published in I think Abu Dhabi or Dubai. It's a standard procedure. So this will help a lot in the question that you ask. What is the different procedure? Okay. That's it for this presentation. This is just the conclusion. Oman has very good solar and wind energy resources. In RICO, diesel-based generation, renewable energy might be actually competitive in the current market structure. So in the current market structure, renewable energy might be competitive because the cost is very high. The cost is about 90 paisa. Maybe this is 50 paisa. The cost of wind maybe, or the cost of, as you have seen in that report, the cost of large wind in Juba was 34 paisa. It's less than the cost of 80 paisa. The first wind project tender is to be awarded soon. At SKU, research and renewable energy are and were conducted in collaboration with other parties. Resource assessment, case studies, demonstration projects are in SKU. The Sultanate is in the process of approving the renewable energy policy. So this will be soon. Soon you will hear the news about targets, specific targets. Already OITC companies is proposing actually a target. Maybe if you go to OITC, they say, what do you call it, master plan, then there are suggested numbers about actually renewable energy contribution. And most probably that number will be, the number of that will be approved will be close to that number. Thank you very much for coming and for attending this workshop. If you have questions, comments, please let me know. Questions?